with you to be welcome here. No right beliefs or clarity of conviction. You do not need to know what brought you here or how you will solve that problem you are turning over and over and over in your mind. Your bills do not need to be paid, and your checkbook can be a mess. Your children may have been up half the night. Your hearing aids may not be working, and your knees may be creaking. You do not need to be already perfect or even halfway to belong to this circle where grace meets us where we are, but does not leave us as it found us.
Good morning. Let's stretch a minute, okay? Maybe get a good breath. And another one. Thank you. Who saw the alignment this morning? Did anybody get out to see the 6 planets before sunrise? I tried. I got out, though it was really hazy, and I could see the moon up there, but I couldn't see anything else. But I am told that it was pretty spectacular. Before we get started, I need to say that I'm retiring effective January 1. There will be more discussion of this as we go along. The Friday blast had a citation from me, and the new dome light will also. So I'm sort of sad, I'm a lot of sad, and I'm sort of disappointed, I'm a lot of disappointed. I just couldn't do what I thought I could do. And I'm not asking for the sympathy, I'm just telling you the truth. And that can scare somebody. So love brings us here. We share it here. It's an abstract word, love. I've said it a lot of times over my life. I expect you have too. What it means is we show up, we care, we learn, and we respond. The miracle is a lot bigger than we are, and it calls for us to be accountable somehow. We create words and ideas to express what that connection feels like. And we come up with the idea of God is love, the New Testament says. The Big Bang Theory says quantum physics is all a part of it. So it's bigger than me, and I know that congregations like this, through freedom, try to attend understanding it. Not to learn so much the rules, but the good hunches we have. It works. Caring gives us feedback. It inspires us, and it blesses us. Welcome to this time together. Let's light our chalice to the idea that we can be what we need to be in this place and enlighten the world by how we act and how we believe.
We light this chalice for inner peace and for love for each other and faith in ourselves. We light this chalice to be welcoming to whomever we meet and kind to all living creatures. Gather around this light of hope as we share this time together.
I'm Doris Ryan, current president of the board, and
Robin Rodriguez, and I completed my 2nd year on the board. I'm on my 3rd year in the board, and a couple of fun committees around here.
My name is Pat Keller. This is my 1st year on the board. And okay, here we go. And I'm an official board member at large. And I am a point person for special projects. And I do want to mention that today Al is having a Spanish class, and we helped get that going for after afterwards in the multipurpose building. And, I take care of small things and make it happen. So it's fun.
Hi, everybody. My name is Kim Robe, and I'm completing my 4th year on the board. Have my 5th, which will be the last. And I'm secretary. I started out a member at large and just winging it. My thing with the board, I think, is that you get on there and you try to find something someplace you feel like you can contribute. And so I stepped up and have been secretary, and that helps me to focus and keeps my mind from wandering during meetings, so that's good.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kim McDonald. This is my 2nd time around on the board. I'm currently vice president until next month, and then we'll be looking for a new one.
I want to be sure to thank everybody on this board. We're at the end of this year, and actually the only person that's leaving the board is Lynn Parrish, who couldn't be here today. I'll say more about that, her leaving. She's been on the board now for 6 years in the role of treasurer, and that's the end for her. She can't be on the board anymore, okay? So she's going to stick with being chairperson of the Finance Committee. But definitely one thing we have to do is find a new treasurer. And so far, everybody that we've asked has said they don't know enough math yet, okay? So we are looking for a treasurer. What has happened, Lynn wanted me to emphasize, is that probably over 50% of the things that she has been doing have been automated. A lot of our bills are paid by auto pay. Many of our tax and other kinds of responsibilities are done automatically. And she's now enlisted Stacy Hutchcraft to do some of the things in QuickBooks that were taking a lot of time. So a lot of what the treasurer does have been reduced in time and complexity. What we really need a treasurer for is to understand some things about our financial situation, be a liaison with the Finance Committee, be there to help us understand what's happening for us financially, and just share their wisdom about that. If we don't have a treasurer starting in September, the thing that'll happen right away is if there are people that need reimbursements, we're going to have to figure out how to do that. Like the things that aren't on auto pay that happen routinely, we'll have to figure out how to handle those individual items that come up. So we really would like someone, if you're at all interested in doing that, please let us know. Here's Liz, okay.
Does the treasurer have to be a member of the board? Because I was thinking, maybe we could get Linda to take it on, but.
Yeah, Linda's got a lot of things already. I think there's some possibility that even with the things like the reimbursements, like one of the things Lynn says she deals with the most is all bunches and bunches of emails and just kind of sorting things out. And it seems to me that some of that might be things that we could farm out to a virtual assistant or something. I don't know, I need to talk with all of them about what we might be able to do, but we'll still need the treasurer on the board to work with us on financial things. And that'll be the main thing. Okay. More questions?
if we had someone who wanted to be treasurer but wasn't on the board, is there a way that we could get them on the board?
Oh, we can definitely get them on the board. We got a space on the board, don't worry. Okay, hi.
Hello. Yes, I have worked for over 25 years as a mathematics teacher, so I can be if you want me to.
Well, thank you. All right. Thank you. Great benefits to having a service with the board. This is sort of like conversations with the board, but just more people. Okay, well, thank you. All right, well, we're getting started with this. Okay, anyway, I wanted to thank everybody on the board. It's been great for me to have these people to kind of consider things with, think about things when we had kind of knotty, difficult things to look at. And they've been extremely responsive. There's just been so much of the time that some emails will go out and people will respond quickly or respond very quickly if we need to have a quick meeting about something. So it's been a great experience for me to have all of them to think with. Okay. So I think we've got some questions. I don't know where all the questions are. I got a couple of them in my hands. Oh, here's a basket full of questions. Okay. All right. Oh, here comes some more questions. All right. Endless questions. I didn't know that there'd be any questions. Like, who was tonight about it?
It's all on us.
Okay.
I need another card. Somebody has a question at the back, and she just came in. Or would I get a card?
Where are cards? Where did cards come from?
We need it in writing?
Okay, let me start with questions. This one's about Miracle Sunday, and maybe the suggestion is that we could have a Miracle Sunday, and Liz is going to explain that to us.
Well, it was some years ago, and I was president of the board. I remember that. But we needed money, and someone came up with this idea of having a Miracle Sunday where we would auction off things and, you know, people could just donate if they wanted to. I thought it was sort of wacky, and, you know, I didn't have any expectations. And I can't remember the amount, but I can tell you that I left church that day with my mouth open. I could not believe the amount of money that was raised during that one session. And I believe that, you know, we have just as many wonderful people here now, and we could make that happen again, I think.
Okay, I want to answer a question that was posed last week. There was a question about what's one achievable thing that could be done in the coming year. And I think one of the things that stands out from the visioning sessions is this very strong interest in outreach so that we become more known in the community. A lot of people have ideas about that. And so one of the things that I want to take up as soon as possible once we get into September is getting another meeting like we did with the fundraising meeting and get together the people who are interested in that. I know of 2 people in the congregation who have some social media experience of various types, you know, TikTok this and whatever. And they have expressed interest in being involved with that. But what I'll do is I'll just put out the same kind of request for people to contact, you know, here's the day, here's the time, can you come? and see who shows up. And we'll start planning from there. That's what we did with the fundraising dinners this year, and had a lot of participation. Kim's done a great job of making flyers and contacting people for that. So that's one achievable thing. This next question is a question that I wish Lynn were here to answer. This is, what is the cost of a minister? Okay. It depends, okay? There are suggested pay rates or kind of salary ranges that come to us from the UUA. And they depend on sort of experience, years of experience, that sort of thing. And then also on, I think, whether you're looking for a contract minister or a settled minister, it makes some difference. And whether you want the person there full-time, part-time, and you kind of prorate it based on what these salary ranges are. I think what we could do, I'm going to keep this card, and I can get that information. No, I just drop it. Get that information from Lynn and put it out in the Google group so you can see it, okay? And kind of get a general idea about that. That's probably the best thing for me to do. Okay. What has UUCT done in the past to boost membership? Anybody want to answer that? Yeah. Okay. Ms. Joan has an answer to that question.
Years ago, we would advertise in the newspaper. I was just looking in the newspaper. It doesn't seem to be a church page anymore, but that was one way that we got out the word of who we are and where we are.
Did you have, you got a card? Okay, all right, more cards. This is great. All right, so this one I gotta keep right there. Okay. Yeah, boosting membership goes along with the outreach, being more known in the committee, and they kind of go hand in hand. So I think boosting awareness of people in the community, of us, and getting more people in here to see us. I think I really like how Christine Smith has talked about it in the visioning meetings, that what we want to do is do outreach to the people who don't know that they're UUs yet. Okay, and that's what we'll be thinking about. Okay, let's see. I have lots of fundraising, event planning, and would love to help. All right, okay, perfect. Yeah. Okay, bot@uutampa.org. That's it. Okay. All right, great. Thank you. Yeah, BOT, Board of Trustees. All right. Diversity, does it exist here? Anybody want to answer anything about diversity?
I think we're working on it. We're kind of aware of that. We're very accepting. We just don't fit everybody's needs, I think. Anybody else? We can't hear you. I'm sorry. We are working on it. We're very open, but we don't fit everyone's needs. People want more organized religion, more, I don't know. We're too liberal. Okay, I'm not going to say anything more because I won't get in trouble.
Yeah. One of the things I've noticed, there's some ways in which we don't have a lot of diversity. But if you think about it, there are ways in which we do. We are from a lot of different backgrounds, places. We have a lot of different paths in life. If you think about it, what we've done, and you know the members of the congregation, they come from very different backgrounds and ideas in a lot of ways. I think of when I come here as one of the places where I experience the most diversity. Kind of professionally, I'm in a silo, where everybody knows what I know, and they have sort of the same outlook that I have. And when I come here, the difference in thinking is really striking. Yeah, I see some people, shaking their heads there. Okay, we got a person with a hand up right back there. Yeah, and here's a microphone right next to you. Okay.
Really? It's a beautiful building, by the way. Okay. Hi, my name is Petra. This is my first time here, and I don't mean to come in and go woof like a tornado, but I'm very passionate about being a UU. I've been one since 2009. I wrote the diversity question, and I think I agree with what you're saying, but I've been in several different congregations, and there's been like a huge class of super elderly, with all due respect. I'm getting there, or I'm already there, don't want to believe it. Anyway, I also am a volunteer, for example, for Uhuru, which is a Black Power blueprint nonprofit. And it's very interesting because there's just a small group of us, and then there's the Black community. One of the things I will notice, and I do agree with what you're saying about how there is diversity, you just can't see it, is that I don't know how many times I've told people about that fact that I'm a Unitarian Universalist, and they look at me and go, huh? So I think that it all circles back to outreach, doing events, going to, if there's an Earth Day festival, make sure we have a presence there. Those types of things I think might be helpful. Hi, I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, Jay's got a comment right over here.
And I think there are two ways of looking at diversity. So now you know I'm a Unitarian, right? Two ways of looking at something. One is the diversity that we see here and in our activities. And that might be a little deficient, at least from a visual point of view. But I think one of the things this congregation has held fast to is belonging to hope and showing up, both at the county office building in the morning, when the county commissioners have their meeting to speak for affordable housing. I mean, it has gone on for years, and the county commission is a tough nut to crack. And that hope continues to do that from this congregation and joining a very diverse group of faith communities where we don't agree. There's no question when you go to a Big Hope meeting to see, best not to talk about religion, best not to talk about those core inflammatory issues in our society. But hope, and all of the people that I've encountered with hope activities, stay focused on affordable housing, criminal justice, climate issues. And for me, and I would expect for most of us here, to continue to practice diversity, to stay focused on the issue that we've all agreed that we're going to stay focused on and not get distracted about what you think about abortion or gay rights or other issues that are not going to be discussed, is a testament to our ability to function in a diverse community. And if we could find other activities, for example, the Black organization that you mentioned, there are other organizations like the Innocence Project, certainly the schools, the ACLU. I mean, we all get plenty of mailings. We know what those issues are. This morning,
I read an article that the Hillsborough County School District is looking for 175 volunteers. And they want grandparent-type volunteers. They specifically said grandparents who would help with children. So you don't need to be a math scholar. You don't need to be a published writer. These are kids in the lower income schools who need some stability in their lives. So it's an opportunity, and that I see as diversity practice. Now, are those families going to come here and become members? I'd be amazed. I'd be astounded. I doubt it. But
Why did you say that?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Why would you be so astounded if they were to come here?
Because when they come the first time, they look around and they see a bunch of old white people. That's what we are. And our level of intellectual discussion is a little off-putting, I think, if you're wondering how to make rent. And you've moved 3 times already this year, and your kids have been in 2 different school systems.
We are luxury.
Okay, here's another question. We are not Baptist. Why don't we dance?
That's right.
All right. Okay.
We can always do more dancing, though, right? Okay. We need to think about
That's true.
Yeah, we do. Let's do some more dancing. This one says, I enjoyed the Valentine dance we used to have. Okay. So maybe we bring back the Valentine dance.
Let's do it again.
Okay. Do we have a formal multi-year plan to maintain and improve our finances and our physical plant or campus? If so, please explain. If not, please explain. Explain it somehow, whichever. Okay. We've got a blueprint. One of the things that we've done this year is in thinking about the finances that we have. In the past couple of years, we've taken money from our expense reserve, more than we really would like to. And so part of what we've done is look at the funds that we have and look at things that are kind of, I think of them as apocryphal. I mean, there are amounts of money that were set aside for something that sort of doesn't exist anymore. So we kind of put those back into the expense reserve. And I think, like just recently, in terms of the latest round of trees that we needed to cut down, we worked very hard to have a very reasonable estimate for that, when the first ones that we had coming in were just huge. So right now we're working on rebuilding the expense reserve, putting money back into that, reallocating it, looking at how we can manage that. We don't have an absolute formal plan of next year we'll do this, next year we'll do this. I expect that the outreach and potential increase in membership and re-emphasis on fundraising. Our fundraising this year has been internal for kind of basically just involving the membership or people that come here. What we want to do is see if we can extend our rentals, do more to bring money in from the outside. potentially with events. And I think that all goes under the umbrella of outreach that we will be developing. Pretty soon, I'll take the last report of the visioning process and put that out to the Google group. I've got to add a couple things to it that people suggested, but then we've got the whole outline of it for you to see. Okay, let's see. That's a blank one right there, okay. Does the board regularly set aside time to plan for the future? Might be good to do every 3 months or so. That's been answered? Oh, okay. The visioning process. I hope you were able to come to those meetings that were available after Sunday services. That was setting aside time to meet with as many people who were interested in the congregation to talk about what you hope to see. And I think that's the formal time that we've set aside.
I really appreciate that Doris organized the visioning meetings, and one of the things that I've been wondering about, and so maybe we need to have another service where we just have the members answer questions, because I've been wondering how the membership feels about that. And, you know, what would the membership like to continue with the visioning meetings? And for a time, we had them in lieu of the regular conversations with the board. And if you haven't been to conversations with the board, it's productive, but what we do is we kind of go over the minutes of the board meetings, exactly what is happening. The visioning sessions are quite different. So I've been wondering, would you all like to, which of these formats, do you want to have both? Is there one you'd rather have? So that's something I've been wondering about from the congregation. I don't know if anybody wants to speak to that or think about that. But.
Yeah, oftentimes when we have meetings after Sunday service, which seems to be the time where we can gather the most people, we can get the most people in for those. There's a pretty good core of people that come to those meetings, but I don't know that we get to everybody, you know, everybody who's got ideas. You know, if you're not able to come to those, anytime you've got some sort of idea or, you know, think of something, just send us an email to BOT. Those have been very helpful. I've kind of assumed that the people who were showing up for the visioning meetings were the ones that were really the most interested in how the place is organized and, you know, how the entire organization runs. And that if people weren't interested in that as much, then they weren't there. This is maybe today here, this is like a few more people than we usually had at the visioning meetings. And I'm glad to have that, like to have it for a service so everybody can be here. Maybe we need to do that every once in a while, just to be sure that we get more people together and get more input, you know, if you want to have it. But I let that go based on what you know, if you want that, I'm assuming you're there doing it, okay? One question was, will the board look at a full-time minister and maybe have a special fund drive, like what you were suggesting? We'll look at all options. We're going to form a task force. We'd be thinking of hiring a contract minister, but we also want to look at ministry broadly. And there's a thought that we'll have another visioning meeting to talk specifically about ministry, about where the UUA is right now with ministry, how things have changed. There are few people looking for settled ministry, which would mean the person is called by the congregation. Most of the folks that seem to be looking to get placements at UU churches are looking for contract ministry, which means they're hired by the board, not called by the congregation specifically, and the format is more flexible. We can hire those people anytime. They don't have to go through that formal year-long search process. We can hire them in the middle of the year. You know, we can hire them for different amounts of time, 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever. The flexibility, I think, is the thing that's appealing to people a great deal. We could think about hiring somebody for a period of time and checking them out, you know, seeing how, do we like this one? Let's try some and see, like, who do we have here, okay? So there are a lot of different formats and possibilities that we could think about, and I'd like to get those to you so you can see them and consider them, see what might be appealing to you. We'll have a big discussion about that coming up. I can promise that, okay. Let's see, we want to grow in numbers. Do we have plans for advertising our presence? Yes, this will be the thing that will be coming up. Okay. Tell us, how's it going? Is there anything you want to tell us? Okay, let's see.
I have a question. I don't write very well. We had at one time an RE to educate younger adults that have children, that they can bring the children and we can educate the children so that they become knowingly UUs.
Okay. Again, I think it all, tell me if I'm wrong about this, that it goes back to outreach. I don't think we're known in the community now as a place where families can come. So I think it's a matter of getting people out there to know about us, to get them in here. We want an RE program. We've got people who very, very much want that RE program to come back. And we've got people who are interested in running it too. Okay?
Yep.
Okay. So is there anything we want to tell people?
Just some thoughts I have. I think, having been on the board for a few years, I guess I would want people to understand, if they don't already, that the board has really, I think, been just paddling as fast as they could to stay afloat through a lot of those years. There's been a lot of crises that have gone on, crises after crises after crises. I am optimistic, almost irrationally optimistic, and I was kind of asking myself, why? Why do I feel optimistic? Well, I think part of it is I think we have wonderful leadership. I think Doris is amazing. I think we have great people on the board, yes. And I think we're finally poised, I'm sincere, I think we're finally poised to move beyond crisis management into true leadership. And I think we have matured as a group of people, as a community, and I think we're ready to take responsibility, I hope, each of us, for what we want this community to be.
Okay, we got, Jerry wants us to, he's letting me know that, the time, like, to move it along. Like, he wants me to move it along here. Okay, we got a lot of more really nice questions here, heavy-duty questions. And yeah, Gene does too. It's 11:24. He's pushing. Okay. Maybe I'll read you some of the rest of the questions because I really would like to talk about them. One is, what are the personal rewards of being a board member? Okay. How about we send that to you like in a dome light column or something like that? Would that be all right?
Yeah, that's a great
Okay.
idea.
All right. Okay. Let's see. It appears that we're going to need to find a new minister. Do you have anyone in mind? Not specifically right now. If you have somebody in mind, let us know. Okay. Let's see. This is not a question, but rather a heartfelt thank you to each of you on the board for your past contributions and for what lies ahead. Thank you. Okay. So, any other questions? Maybe I should, yeah. She's got a question right there.
It will be short and sweet. I was thinking about when the board wants to get input from the congregation, and the visioning meetings and the fundraising meetings and the in-person meetings, and I hope we can spread a wider net so that if we really do have something to contribute, but we're not able, for whatever reason, to make it to church for the visioning meeting, that there could be a survey online, there could be another way that we're able to give our input.
I want to say something about that. One of the things that we had hoped to do or working on doing was like sending out questionnaires to get people's opinions. And we get probably 30 responses. That's about the average, okay? So what I've always assumed then is that the other 70, 80, 90 people were not as interested in that, and that's okay. That I got the answer. We got the answers from the people who really wanted to say something, okay. But we were a little concerned because we started off to do that to sign up for the fundraisers through an online method, and people weren't signing up. So we kind of went back. Kim, stepped up and got going on telling people, signing them up in person and things like that. So I'm not sure that questionnaires or online ways of contacting you and getting involvement, I'm not sure that's going to work. If any of you know ways that we can make that work, let us know, okay? Yeah. Jay?
Part of the reason is most of us are drowning in email. And it's not that we're not interested. It's like, oh, please, we get 50, 60 emails a day. It's like, I'm only willing to spend 2 or 3 hours on this. I don't have any more time for email. Living a life, and I think all the rest of you are living your lives too. And there are other things to do. So maybe the same questionnaire needs to be handed out to people or any order of service, or I don't know, but personal. The same with when Kim went around and asked people
Face to face. Face to face. You come into the spaghetti dinner, whereas if it had been in an email, it's like, oh yeah, I got to think about that spaghetti dinner. I don't know. Let's see. I'm not going to respond right now. But it's better to put people on the spot face to face. We're more likely to say yes. Well, I'm more likely to say yes.
Thank you.
I just wanted to mention that I have found in the past that food tends to bring people in. So I'm thinking we need to have like a after service with some food.
Just a point to the email signups, online signups. So my mother is 73, and my dad just turned 75. My mother hates anything online. She just can't get it. My dad, 75, he's actually a lot more savvy. with the internet and things like that. And I wonder if that could be a problem with sending out those online signups.
Yeah, we've wondered about that too. Yeah, thank you. Okay, I have one more question, which is it worthwhile to have this meeting?
Yes.
This time, I have it as a survey. Okay, all right, I'm glad to hear that. Okay, Robert's got something here.
I was going to suggest that we try all these different avenues, not just restrict ourselves to one or two. Do as much outreach as possible. Use the surveys. Use especially the in-person like Kim done. Just a variety. Maybe have a Zoom meeting about the planning and that sort of thing. Just as much as possible.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Why don't we stop?
Well, I just want to make a comment. Somebody said
Tom wants to
something
say
about food afterwards. Yeah, we do have coffee hour, and there's food there in the multipurpose building after each service. So it is over there. So, all right, somebody said.
Speaking of outreach, a few years ago, I went online and visited a pagan site. And as you know, the Covenant of Unitarian Universalist Pagans has been meeting here for over 33 years. Last night, we had over 50 people at our program, and we're only $50 short of reaching our annual pledge amount, and we have 2 big fundraisers coming up. But what I wanted to say is somebody saw that and sent me an email message 2 days ago and showed up last night and had a wonderful time. So I need to look at that some more.
Okay, thank you. All right, and
thank you.
We'll probably
Thank
do
y'all
this
all
again
for
someday.
participating in today's service. It looks like it was worthwhile. We need to get back to the process now. A couple of thoughts. I so wish I was 50 years old rather than 76, because I believe in this place. Kim said it a minute ago. It doesn't look good. That doesn't mean it isn't good. We've got a core of what it takes to be a thriving congregation. It may be we have to be something different than we were. And the board's been talking about that. Y'all have been talking about that, of what a public church looks like over against a private church. And it's nearly like a birthing process. And we're asked to be midwives to this, so that this place can benefit others that come after us. If it doesn't have a legacy, it ain't much. But we have a legacy. Behind us, we have a heritage. There's no reason the legacy can't go on. And the hard times have been rough, but what hasn't lately? We talked about email fatigue. I've got life fatigue. I don't know about you guys. But I ain't going to give up, and we aren't going to give up.